He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such trouble. He's stuck for a second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Go Murray, do it! Big Murray's gonna do it! Big Murray!
Good evening and welcome to the BSC playoff here, round one, live from Talladega. I am James Barber, going to be joined in the booth once more for my man with all the knowledge about every NASCAR track in the UK. In the UK? In the US, Kenton Sportak as well. But it is round one of the playoffs. And well, it can only mean one thing. Great racing throughout here from the BSC, and one that we are exceedingly looking forward to here. Let's bring Kenton in to the booth. Kenton, good evening, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Had a good day. Now we get to watch some fast pedal to the metal whole way driving in a circle. I'm excited.
Yes, you are. Traditionally left turn. Talladega Superspeedway once more. Lydia's here already. Woo! Go Spain Hour. Even though he's not in the playoffs, she's still here. Supporting her man, y'all. As we do that. So tell us about it then, Kenton. What are we expecting here from Talladega this evening?
We're going to be expecting a lot of very similar racing that we saw in Daytona. This is a very draft heavy. Like if you get left out on your own, you are going to be losing positions very quickly. It's all about working together, finding one person to at least draft off of, especially when it comes to pits. Going in and out with at least one other person will make life a lot easier for you, because otherwise you're never going to catch a pack if you're slowing down and going by yourself. So being in a group, being with at least somebody is going to be pretty much everything. This is one of the fastest, if not the fastest tracks in all of NASCAR. It's also the largest in terms of length in all of NASCAR. So it's definitely a good track to watch some very, very fast racing going around.
Right, okay, so tell us then, now obviously we've had the conversation before about the way that they're sorting out the stand-ins for this and what's going to happen next. Just tell us about how that's going to work out for the people that obviously at home that don't know what's going to happen.
So basically, everybody who is in the playoffs, so in our case, all the people that have the red banner on their name on the timing tower there, they will all have their points bumped up, not artificially, but just to make things easier, to 1,000. So everyone who's racing will still get their points. So if someone who's not in playoffs wins, they will still get that allotment of points. However, it will not affect who is in the playoffs at this point. So those, what do we have right now? 6 of them that are on the timing tower right now, they'll all bump up to 1,000. Whoever finishes highest out of them will then therefore have their points be affected for who finishes in the top 4 for the final race of the season, which will be the championship race at Homestead. With that being said, if you are a winner of Talladega, Watkins Glen, or Las Vegas, so the 3 races going before we get to Miami Homestead there, you automatically qualify for the final race. If someone who is outside of the top 8 wins, then no one in that in there will qualify automatically. They will still have to rely on points unless they win one of the other 2 races. So in, say, with the timing tower, just how it's broken down right now, Ross was to win the race. Hannah, Almquist, Strader, Malcolm, McLaughlin, and Witt, they would still earn whatever points they did earn, but they would have to either finish in the top 4 or hope that they can win one of the next 2 races.
Right, okay. And what happens when we get into the final 4?
So once we get into the final 4, those final 4 drivers will have their points bumped up to 2,000 just to keep everything separated from the last sort of shift in points. And then whoever wins that race or ends on highest amount of points, so that we'll take into account laps led, your your stage winner and things like that, plus the overall winner of that race. That's how they'll figure out who actually ends up winning. So it will come down out of whoever's in that top 4 for the final race. But for now, at the very least, it will be just everyone trying to vie to get into that top 4 position for the finals.
Yeah, so there we go, guys. I hope that clears that up for you as well. If there's any misunderstanding, please just ask and we will try and resolve your questions in chat there as well. I did want to try and catch up with one of the championship playoff individuals before we start. Let me have a chat. I'm going to drop Brandon there into the waiting room here as well, into the booth. Comes Brandon McLaughlin, one of your 8 finalists. Good evening, Brandon. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm not bad, mate. I'm not bad at all. Really looking forward to this. Like, I've been pumped about this all week. Tell us then, what's your aspirations for the playoffs, bud? Because it's going to be tough with the likes of Whit and Michael in here as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Those guys are really good. I'm just going to try to stay clean, and if I can do that, I feel like I have a chance.
I think that's going to be the biggest thing, isn't it? Just keeping yourself clean, because we've seen it over the season as we get on as well. You know, you've only got to be, you could still be at the back and still take the win. It's obviously that way inclined, isn't it, NASCAR in general? So, you know, your aspirations, just keeping clean for the next 4 races?
Yeah, basically.
Are there any that you're dreading?
Watkins Glen's going to be tough. I'm never really good at road courses in these, so I'm hoping I can finish good today and start off the playoffs with a good finish. As I wipe everybody out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, mate, as well, you know, you've only got to take 1 win and you're automatically through as well. So there's an opportunity there, isn't there?
Yeah, maybe I can get 2 in a row.
Maybe that would be absolutely awesome. Right, Brandon, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much for talking to us, bud. I'll drop you back in your room. Who was you with? I've forgotten who you were with.
Strader and Spainhour.
Right, okay. We'll throw you back in there now, mate.
Sweet, thanks.
Take care, good luck. So, Brandon McLaughlin there's got the right idea. Kenton, he's just got to keep it clean. Keep it clean. As I have no...
Sorry, there we go. I was coughing, so I had muted myself there. Yes, so with this race, keeping it clean is everything. It's it's your only other super speedway along with Daytona. So everything is about being as fast as you can here. You are not lifting. Your foot is flat. The only reasons you ever need to lift is if you're going into a corner and you've been bump drafting, just to give that little bit of space so you don't end up causing a problem and hooking a guy going around a corner or giving him a bump and spinning him sideways as you enter the corner. Things like that. Talladega is the other track that has the big one every year. So there have been some big ones when it comes to Talladega. I believe there was even one that took out 21 cars. Just one crash, 21 cars. Like that's a pretty significant amount of cars to get taken out in one accident. So it's definitely one of those races where you really need to focus on keeping out of trouble. It is a little wider than Daytona. So you do have a little bit more maneuverability to try and get out of the way of an accident. But it is still very fast and things happen quickly.
Right, okay, so there we go, guys. We have got about 41 seconds remaining there as well until we go into the qualifying. Rexia there, final 4 productions, or is that predictions? Final 4 predictions. Okay. Well, I'm interested in the fact that Dan Michael's not here.
Yeah, that'll be definitely a hit to him, because you have to be, I believe you have to show up for 2 of the 3 races at least. And this would be one of those races where you'd want to show up. It is, like we said, while you do run that risk of a crash and the big one being here, it's your best chance as well of having a very clean one and I'd want to get at least one good race if I'm in that top 8 now. Because worst case, then if you really struggle at Watkins Glen, but you had a fantastic race here, you at least it gives you a little more wiggle room going into Las Vegas, where if you've gone in, missed this race, have a bad showing at Watkins Glen, and then you're forced to have a great showing in Las Vegas. And Vegas isn't a bad track, but it's not as simple. There's a lot more technicalities and a lot more issues that can arise compared to Talladega in terms of what each driver has to pay attention to as they're going around. So I would not want to have missed this one. The other 2 you can kind of pick your battle on, but this one is definitely the one I would have focused on making sure I could have been here for.
Yeah, definitely. I think I would have. I'd try and be here for all 4 just in case. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I've definitely given Dega a run because obviously, as you say, it's full flat. Not a lot should typically go wrong. Hopefully, as we're on board with Noel Hannah here as well. So overall, it should just full flat, get running. And away we go, and let's see how that all works out. My predictions for the top 4, I'm going to go Alex Witt. I do think Dan Michael is going to be able to get one as well. He's obviously not here this evening. Noel Hannah and Jordan Malcolm. So I'm just going to write that down. JP, Witt, Michael, Hannah, and Malcolm. They're my 4. Who are you going with?
I got to go with, I'm thinking Witt, Michael.
Yeah.
And I got to say McLaughlin.
You've got to say McLaughlin. Is that due to the fact he's from Canada and you...
No, that's McQuiggan. McQuiggan's from Canada.
Yeah, all right, go on then.
McQuiggan's from Canada. I think McLaughlin's going to have himself a race. But, and then I was going to say McQuiggan was going to be in there as well. But I think McLaughlin's going to surprise some people. He got his way in. I think he's going to surprise some people and quietly kind of work his way in there. But and I will say McQuiggan because yes, he is Canadian. So
all right, so we've got so remember these guys, all right. So let's remember these. I've got Witt, Michael, Hannah, Malcolm. Kenton's got Witt, Michael, McLaughlin, and McQuiggan. So there we go. That is
McQuiggan just needs to get in. He needs to just not get taken out on the last 2 laps, like the last 2 races he's been.
Yeah, Auto Club though. I did love Auto Club. Auto Club was amazing. It was amazing. I've got to be honest. It was
a great race. That was fantastic. It was very close, and I believe we had someone finish the race backwards or sideways.
Yes, we did. That ended up being a YouTube short at one point. I got to be honest as well. So if you haven't had a look at the JPB YouTube shorts, you can there as well. There will be some more up there tomorrow. Partly because there was an interesting 360 spin off the barrier in the JPB Clio Cup yesterday, and then he landed on the track and still made the chicane at Road Atlanta. At Road Atlanta. So he was going down the straight, he got tapped, did a 360 spin, literally in the braking zone, and then made the chicane for Road Atlanta. So he still made the chicane.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I'll cut it all up and get it all sorted out and put it up on tomorrow as well. But Josh McGuigan here as well. We've got Malcolm on pole, Witt, Hannah and Almquist 4th and 5th. Spainhour in 3rd. God, Terry is sitting in 3rd currently as well. McLaughlin in 7th. So there we go. That's not bad at all, is it?
No, you can't go wrong with that for sure.
No, definitely not there. So there we go. Predictions. My phone has been acting up. Yeah, I thought it might have been. It's fine. We got you. Don't you panic. Stage 1 this evening. Well, it is at 30 laps this evening here as well, and they are on 75% fuel. So get ready because we are going to be going very, very soon. Good luck, everyone. I am doing race control tonight to make sure playoffs go smoothly, said Armand Brousseau as well. So live stewarding all at the same time. They're pulling out all the stops here this evening. And one that I am going to be looking forward to. I think this is going to be absolutely incredible. So be aware, get ready, settle down, settle in, because the playoffs are going to begin. And if you didn't notice, that all rhymes. So just to let you know. There we go. Right.
I mean, Talladega, it's a fantastic facility. The worst nickname of any of the races that haven't, or tracks that have a nickname. For those who don't know, Talladega is also known as Dega. So they really delve deep into that bag to get the nickname for that, unlike places like Bristol, which is known as like the last great Coliseum, or New Hampshire is the Magic Mile. You've got the American race in Daytona, and Talladega is known as Dega.
And you got the brick.
Yeah, and you've got the Monster Mile over in Dover.
Yep.
And but Dega.
Hey, you can't have it always. Do you know what I mean?
I guess not. You gotta take what you can get, I guess, out of Dega.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Right, guys, bear with me. I am having issues with the timing software this evening. It is continually freezing on me, so I am trying the best I can to get it up and running as well. Don't kind of like the fighting fires bit in the background, but unfortunately it looks like I could be on for fighting fires here, because it is being a little bit temperamental this evening. So let's stay tuned, and hopefully it might settle down and see how we get on. But at the moment it is causing a little bit of an issue. So yeah, I'm not the only one, mind you. Apparently there is other people having the same issue I am having. So hopefully it will be able to get resolved, and hopefully it will all be sorted out there, Kenton.
Yeah, hopefully. It looks like the field has started to fill up properly, so I'm hoping that means everything's going and they've got it kind of figured out, and we're not too worried about anything going wrong here. But last thing we need is a bunch of disconnects and weird other things going on that don't need to be. And it looks like, baseline has started, so that's always a good thing.
Yeah, here we go, getting ready to go. Hopefully you will be able to see the overlay up there as well. I'm being able to see it currently at this moment in time. So hopefully it shall all, for this brief moment, work. As we can see, Jordan Malcolm, Alex Witt, your front row. Terry Spainhour in third. Boy, oh boy, does that make me happy to see. His highest qualifying position of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think the best he's started was 7th, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely P3 is a great starting spot for him. And the beauty of Dega, it's flat out. You don't have to worry about anything.
There you go. They could have come up with something else, couldn't they?
Right.
You know what I mean? Even where it's located in terms of the state has a better nickname, although actually not much better, but they're in Alabama, and Alabama is just known as Bama. So I guess it's Dega, Bama. They're par for the course in terms of nicknaming. They could have even gone Sweet Home Alabama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. All right, well, we're starting it now.
Yeah.
The new nickname for Talladega is Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, that'll do. I don't know.
There we go.
That was the best I got, looking at the information I've got, of course, on Talladega. So.
I like it. That's what we're going with. At least that's what I'm going with from now on.
Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama. There we are. Once more, back at Dega. Let's see how this all works out. I think it's just the abbreviation, isn't it? People just didn't want to say Talladega. It was just too long.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so buckle up, guys. Get ready, because we are going to be underway very, very shortly. It's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an exciting one. Who's going to take the victory? Who's going to get into that playoffs? Is it going to be any one of the top 8 here? As we're crawling along, banks of 2. Geico restarts zone, and we're underway. We are going to be going for the playoffs, round one, live from Sweet Home, Alabama, here with myself and Kenton Sportak broadcast on the JPB. We are underway. Alex Witt, Noel Hanna, Jordan Malcolm, Terry Spain now has dropped down to 6th, lost 3 places, needs to get up back into that groove and get going again once more, because otherwise, as you say, it's going to be positions, positions, positions. Are we going to see this double line? Are we going to see the double line, Kenton?
It's a risky thing to do. I know early on you're going to see it, and you can see Spainhauer giving a little bit of a bump draft to Malcolm ahead of him there, giving him that little push as Almquist goes around on the outside of them. The hardest part and the thing that you need to do on these super speedways in terms of really utilizing that draft is actually be very close. The further away you are, the actual less effective the draft is. So you can see McQuiggan and Lewis there. Like, McQuiggan is basically connected in is the term, where they're almost touching that entire way. And to do that, you need to have utmost trust in your driver, who's ahead of you and who's behind you. But that's how you have to go. The closer you are, the more speed you're actually going to get out of the draft. Especially if you're able to bump draft a little bit and start pushing. That's what you have to do on these tracks. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting the draft. You're not really getting an advantage out of it. And if you're that top line, especially, they have the best advantages. Ooh, Spainhauer collects Almquist a little bit, and they pump into the apron. That'll cost him a lot of speed. He needs to get back in behind and hope that he can hold on to Hedge there a little bit, but it looks like he's dropping down a little further than he wants to. He does thankfully have Almquist beside him, or behind him, although he moves up to that top lane, which isn't exactly ideal. But with this race, you want to stick a line and really hold on to it. Bumping line to line and jumping around and stuff is going to do nothing for you other than cost you time. And if you're that top line, you actually want to run fairly close to that bottom line on the straights, especially because you can see right away that bottom line just suddenly starts moving. And the reason you want to do that is because it'll actually give you the advantage of side drafting. And that side drafting, what that's going to do is actually slow the guys ahead of you or beside you down. Yes, it slows you down a little bit, but if you're able to actually take advantage of that movement, you can use it to kind of keep both lines fairly close together so you're not getting pushed or dropped behind very easily.
We're on board with Alex Witt. In front of us is the 92 of Josh McGuigan. This is looking, of course, on the nose of Alex Witt. Going once more. It's going to be tough now. It is all going to be tough. Cody Kern has dropped down a little bit. Terry Spain has come back through. He's joined back onto the line. I think that was the most important thing. Anthony Radel, not so much, and Gregory Sherman there as well, has not got back on as well. Oh, I don't like the movements. I get so nervous when I see them shifting around, because one little click of a bumper in front, and they're going around, aren't they? It's just horrendous. It gets my nerves on edge every single time these guys are battling away, and I just get so shaky.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do coming off a corner. These banked corners are about 33 degrees, and I say about because turns 2 and 4 are not quite. Turns 1 and 2 are 33. Turns 3 and 4, sorry, are 32.4 and 32.5. No idea why they're off that 33. As you can see, McQuiggan dropping back really fast. I'm not sure what happened there, but he looks like he got kind of caught out as everyone went up around him, and he dropped back. Thankfully, the 23 of Kern was there to give him a little bump and get him going again as they get all connected back up there. But because of that, you're going from that to 3 degrees on the back straight. So it gets a little shaky coming off that because you're going from such a high banking to suddenly very flat. So it gets a little harder to hold that line. But that's the thing you need to do is, hold on to that very, very yellow line there and don't let too much space happen below you, because that's when someone puts their nose in there and accidents happen.
So you're in the car, you're in the playoffs, you've got 30 laps until the first stage. What is your ambition? Where are you looking to place yourself in this car? We can see the top 6 out of the top 6, 5 are in the playoffs. McLaughlin Strada down in 13th and 14th currently. I say that like it's a horrendous thing. It's not. They're not that far back. Don't get me wrong. I think the whole field is separated by well, apart from Anthony Radel, who's a long way back at the moment with Gregory Sherman, but we did say that, didn't we? As soon as they get dropped, they're going backwards. But this pack are literally separated, if I did some really quick maths, barely a second, if that. Now, what are you planning on doing? Where are you looking to place the car? What's the situation with yourself here?
Right now, going into stage one, the entire, I guess, aspect of this is keep it safe. Doesn't really matter where you actually are right now. You're not going to win the race in the first stage. The first stints, you're definitely not going to win the race in. It's going to be after that first stage that it becomes very important on how you're driving, where you're driving. Because you can go from, and having done this in back when they did the Daytona 500, I don't like McQuiggan trying to make it 3 wide there. That's a little old, especially this early in a race. But back when the Daytona 500 was happening, I ran that race and I went from being 2 laps down to a lap down, or sorry, I went from leading to 2 laps down to a single lap down, back to leading in the span of half the race. So things change very quickly, and your first stint really is not going to have too much of an issue, barring you keep the car pointed the right direction and aren't, carrying someone else's bumper in yours. So it's a big thing to make sure you're running smooth and you keep everything pushing and going forward. After stint 1 or the first stage there, that's when it really starts to focus on, okay, I need good positioning, I need to make sure I'm into the right line, in the right kind of gap areas, and pushing with that group, so that we're not losing pace or losing positions. And I mean, right now you can see McQuiggan on the outside, they're sort of working with, I believe that's Ross, as they're working together. And the only reason that they're not getting dropped back more is you can see that big gap between Almquist and I believe that is Malcolm. Yep. If they were to close that up, they would drop Ross and McQuiggan very quickly. But because they're leaving such a gap there, it's not happening as fast. Like if you're right connected, you're going to actually gain more than you would if you're spread out with spacing behind there. So even though technically the bottom line right now should be lapping a lot faster because they have more cars, because they're all over the place and there's different gaps and things like that, they're not able to really pull away from a team or from the top line as they should be.
Well, there we go. Kenton coming in with the full knowledge of information as always, telling us what they should be doing. Now, what we should be doing and what is going to be happening is a completely different thing at the moment. I am a little bit worried about this little gap. This little gap is starting to appear. There's a 1.9 second gap between these 4 and the Zach Lewis at the back end of the field. Spainhour really needs to be shoved along here by Cody Kern, Brandon McLaughlin and Christian Strider. They're both in the playoffs as well. The back 2 of this group, the number 81 and the number 29. So they do need to get him back onto the pack here. And whoa, there's caution's out. Caution is out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but it looked not great. As it looks like we've got, who are we with, Con or Josh here? Looks like he's got his right front tire facing not straight or forward at all. So a few cars looks like yeah, oh yeah, and he's missing that quarter panel, and his front bumper looks like it's ready to fall off here as well.
Let's have a quick look back.
I didn't see what happened, but it doesn't. Oh,
where is Hannah going?
I think it was Almquist caught Hannah's rear quarter panel because Almquist is on the inside of him and it comes back down and just right into the side of Hannah, which goes right into McQuiggan, which causes McQuiggan to kind of spin down, and he collects. I can't see who the car ahead of him was, but then he of course collects a couple other guys, and
number 4 car as well. So
number 4 there's
Josh Keith. So there we go.
And so Josh Keith gets collected in that too. So a few guys all kind of collected up by that. Thankfully, they do have that fast repair, and on this kind of track, you want that fast repair to be used. You're not going to be waiting for it. It's any damage that causes your car to not drive as fast, so any hindrance to your aerodynamics is going to make you very slow, and you will feel it.
Yeah, so the cars now are under caution once more. So we do have 3 green-white checkers here this evening as well. And It's going to be tough for these guys. I'm going to bring in Christian Strada into the booth. Christian, good evening. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. About yourself?
I'm very well. I'm definitely excited about this. Now, this first caution come out a little bit earlier than we thought it was going to. What's the situation? You're probably relieved about this, aren't you, considering you were dropping back a little bit?
Yeah, so my main thing here is tonight I'm going to probably try to stay a little bit back, let the racing go on, and then try to make my way forward for the stage points. But I just don't want to get caught up in one of those big wrecks at the beginning of this race and end up using the fast repair. So I think the first half will be a pretty chill and calm race for me. The second half will be where I'm really trying to race.
Okay, and what do we reckon on fuel? How long do you reckon you're going to go on fuel this evening?
I think the one stop at the stage will be the only stop that I make again.
You're not going to be stopping for tires?
No stops for tires. I'll take tires at the stage, and then after that, I don't think I think I'll be able to make it on fuel and definitely on tires.
Okay, what's the ambition for the playoffs?
The ambition is to win the whole thing. I definitely feel confident that I can make it into the final race in the round of 4, and from there it'll just be Homestead's one of my favorite tracks, so I think that it'll at least play in my hand there with that. Here in Watkins Glen have me a little worried. Road racing is not my top talent, but once we get to the Las Vegas, I feel pretty good there. I like those 1.5 mile intermediate style tracks.
Right, okay. Well, Christian, we'll let you go. Good luck, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you, James.
Take care.
You too.
Well, there we go. Christian Strada going for the whole win.
I mean, yeah. Why not, I guess, right?
Yep.
If you're not going for it, why be here? Yeah, no, it's a rather unfortunate kind of situation if you're McQuiggan there. I don't know if he's used his fast repair. It looks like he's still in the pit, so he might be just trying to repair it as best he can. And obviously, like we had kind of mentioned, the way this race sort of plays out, you don't necessarily have to be in the front. You still have another stage break here, and he's going to be a lap down at least. It looks like he's come out back now. With him being a lap down, yeah, he's just going to hope to stay ahead of the safety car here, which is smart. Get as much of that repair done as you can. Hop back out in front of the safety car, allows you to lap all the way back around. You shouldn't be too far back.
No, you should be able to join up, to be fair. I've seen this tactic in Lightning McQueen car where he had to get out before the pace car, and he whizzes out just in time, and Josh McGuigan does the same thing. So Josh Lightning McQueen there has made it out in front of the pace car. Sorry, Josh, giving you nicknames as we go on here. But lap 13 of 60, first caution. It did look like there was contact from Almquist into Hannah, and that just sent him directly to the other side. But that's what I was talking about with that consistent movement and the fact that that can happen. You know, you're going to put pressure on his right-hand side. He's going to shoot to the left. Now, if you're thinking, well, hold on, James, that don't right. It does, because of the fact that where you hit, you're putting grip on the other tyre, which shoots the car in the opposite direction. That's when Almquist hit the right-hand side of Hannah. Hannah went to the hit the right. He shot off because of the way the grip works. And it's all, yeah, it's all very technical, but I know what I'm talking about. Kenton knows what he's talking about. However, he might not agree with me. He might sit back and go, no, James, what are you talking about? But that's roughly the idea, isn't it? You know, when you're tagging in that way or contact in that way, it puts the car in a very difficult off-balance position with a grip at the rear.
For sure, yeah. And the way he hit that, the outside, or his right quarter panel, because of that hit, yeah, you put more pressure, especially into the right or left front, and it causes it to kind of gain a little bit more grip, and you lose a little bit of grip on that outside rear, right rear, which, yeah, everything's going to then cause it to spike straight up the wall. And with the banking on these tracks, you're really going to go fast, especially if it's in a corner, which it looked like it was. Yeah. Because not only is now the wall coming towards you because you're going straight and not actually able to hold that turn, but now the car beside you has nowhere to go, and you just have no time to react at that point.
All right, here we go once more. Witt is on the front. We know how good he is. I'm surprised Zach Lewis is not along the side a lot further. I would be pressuring Witt's nose as much as I can get him. He's gone now. He has gone now. We are going back, raced it once more, and Alex Witt has done what Alex Witt does and took the jump right at the beginning there, Kenton, as always.
Yeah, I mean, he always gets those fantastic jumps. In Talladega, it's a little harder to hold them because you kind of create a gap behind. You kind of create a gap behind you, which now you're not getting any of that draft. So, as much as it's advantageous to get that gap quickly, it's going to close very fast, as you're going to kind of just get guys coming right back up because they'll have all the draft pushing them behind. As you can see, yeah, they've already caught him, and we're just now entering, turns 3 and 4 here. So it's definitely advantageous because you at least keep that first position and prevent the top line from getting a good jump on you, but you almost need your the third place car, or the guy right behind you, to be sort of on top of everything and be right behind you so you can really maintain the gap you've created.
I'm interested to see how this one works out. They're jigging and jagging across the side of the track again. They're not moving as much as they were in the first round. I'm not going to be a lot light, but they are doing that movement again that I've seen and I don't like. And unfortunately for that, Ross Hanna on the outside line there, literally nose to tail at one point. Hanna was right in there as well with the number 16 car of Zach Lewis in front of him. Spainhour needs to get back onto the back. He's dropped back again. He needs a push or drop into where the draft is. That's it. Good boy. Well done. Tuck back in. Give it some. And let's see how we get on here with Alex Witt back out in front. I think this is going to be a battle of mind games all the way through. Hanna comes out to that outside line now as well. They've moved up in front of Lewis, Hanna and Malcolm. So they're going to try and make that outside line work here. And we'll see how we get on. But it is all about where you can put that car currently at the moment. And hopefully position yourself ready for the stage, which is in about 14 laps time. Strada's in the mix. We heard from Christian Strada. He's going to be trying to move up for the stage points. He's in that mix at the moment. There's a lot of movement further back here. Cars trying to find the optical line and trying to make their way in, Kent, and it's going to be a difficult one at the moment. It's all about mind games, isn't it? It's all about getting your car in the right place. It's all about ready to make that move within the next 14 laps for the stage win.
100%, and the issue, like, you can kind of see it, and what makes it a little more difficult for some of these cars. So, like, right now on this corner, you can see how McQuiggan is tucked right behind Noel Hanna there. But you can see Calvin Ross is a little higher, and I believe that the 60 hedge behind them, he gets a little higher up as well, and that actually hinders the draft. Like, there's a reason if you're on that lower lane, it is a little easier to stay in a straight line because you just have to focus on the yellow. As Cody Kern has himself a little bit of an issue, but he's able to get going. It looks like he kind of just got a little lost, but he's back going again. No issues, I guess, but he's going to definitely get left behind now.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Why is that not playing? I think Cody Kern has had a bit of a problem there as well, because it looks like... No, he's still running, but it's not showing me why Cody Kern has had that incident. So, unfortunately for him, well, fortunate maybe, I don't know how, whichever way you want to look at it, we're not able to see what's happened to Cody Kern. I can finally say go, Terry, for once since I am not in the car. Hey, join on to the Spainhour Massive, Mr. Armand Brousseau. Come on, join us. You'll hear the excitement, especially if he takes a win. Oh my God, blimey. My house is going to be like, oh no, what's going on? Oh, there's a lot of connection issues going on at the moment. I'm wondering as well how much is happening, but they're coming around for lap 18, 12 to go before the stage.
Zach Lewis is not in a good spot there. That's going to hurt him massively, like being 3
but
wide.
Is it? Look, Hanna's pushed him along.
Hanna managed to, yeah, he got outside, and it kind of cost Almquist a lot there, as he had lost all that momentum he had coming out of that corner as soon as he lost the draft behind him, and that's kind of one of those things you really don't want. And you can kind of see Calvin Ross kind of getting left behind a little bit as well now as his grouping and the little bump draft there as they get a trio bump there. As Noel Hanna comes down a little low, and he's trying to add a little side draft to try and pull Calvin Ross back, and McQuiggan, you can see He's now leading that front group. So, like we said, when it comes to speed racing or super speedways, where you are one lap has very little meaning on the rest of the race, because you can pop right back to the front very quickly, as he was in, 16th, and now he's in 2nd. And that didn't take a lot of time to get there, so.
Keith just went down like an absolute rock there. He dropped out of the line, and now he's just plummeted to the back end. Now,
yeah, and that's the issue. If you get out of line, you're in trouble, and you will be left behind. And you can see, and there goes. Looks like Malcolm and not Keith Sherman there, getting a little out of sorts as Spainhauer gets a little tank slapper from Malcolm as he kind of soars, just tries to save it as best he can, but rather unfortunate moment there. I didn't quite see who tangled with who at first, but Malcolm definitely on the unfortunate end of that one.
Malcolm and the 60 car, sorry. That is Tony Hedge. Look like they may have come into contact first. Yeah, looks like Hedge has come down, doesn't it? He looked like he's come down, and that unfortunately, he's come down. Malcolm and Hedge there, and unfortunately that's put them all round.
I think, unfortunately for Malcolm, he had connections with, he was connected up with Alex Witt behind him, and because of that, once you're like that, as soon as you get bumped, and it makes you kind of fishtail a little bit, if Alex Witt's bumper is close, it can cause him to kind of catch it and end up sending him straight up, as it looked like it kind of did there. It also didn't help that right at that moment, Noel Hanna and McQuiggan had dropped right in front, so disrupted a little bit of the airflow that was going over his car, and it can just send your car all over the place. So I think it was a series of unfortunate events that all happened at once.
Yeah, Josh McGuigan going in now as well.
Interesting.
Cody Kern apparently has had internet issues, so that's why he's been having a few problems there as well. But yeah, Alex Witt. I wonder if he's going to stay out for the end of the stage. Stage is in 9 laps time, of course. It's going to be an interesting one to see how this one pans out. But I'm going to have a chat with Mr. Terry Spainhour. Good evening, Terry. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very, very well. Looking forward to this one. It should be an absolutely barnstorming race. What's the plan for you, young sir? We know your situation in the playoffs. You know, are you going to be going for it like you normally would?
I'm going to race to the best of my ability. My plan is to probably help Christian as much as possible, and Brandon.
Okay, and is there a plan, or is that one you're not going to disclose while you're live on YouTube?
I think it'll be okay. We're just going to hang out in the back and then push for it, right after stage.
Yeah, because you were 3rd in qualifying.
Yeah, I kind of didn't want 3rd. I thought about just taking it towards the back.
Okay.
Which probably is the way I should have went.
Yeah, but still, 3rd place is 3rd place, isn't it? Isn't it better to be up front?
Yeah. Well, maybe not at the start of these. we're so wiggly up here that it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know. I can see, mate. Trust me, it's scaring me up here as much as probably you on the track, to be honest. But yeah, go in. Good luck, though, mate, and have a good one. Try and get the win for me.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go for the win.
Bargain. That's all I want to hear, Terry. Thank you so much, bud. And we'll catch up with you soon.
See ya.
See ya. Well, that would be cool. If we can get a Spainhour win. Didn't want to be up at that high. It's a little bit strange.
I mean, like I kind of mentioned early in the race, is you do want to have a partner. Now, if he's working with Christian Strader, that would be your quote-unquote pit partner, right? And you kind of want to work together at minimum and stay close to each other. So him getting a higher end starting runs a risk of him getting collected in an early accident and getting some damage, and then kind of falling out of line with his teammate in terms of like pit strategy because now you've gone in already, or you haven't gone, your teammate hasn't gone in. So it can cause a little bit of issues there. So I kind of get what he's saying about it. Yeah, that's fairly uncommon. It's not the most common sentence to hear, that I didn't want to qualify as high as I did. So we'll see how it ends up playing out. He's, still in the top 10 for right now, and I know Christian Strader is going to be sort of working as we see that. I think that's the 16th of June.
Yeah.
Yes, he got the lucky dog there, I think is what it is.
No, I think he beat the pace car out of the pits.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I just saw him whipping by.
No, because there wasn't anybody a lap down, you see. So I think he beat the pace car out, if I'm not mistaken.
Fair enough. Or at least he's hoping so. You don't want to get penalty for that. No,
it was another one doing a Lightning McQueen. Rex Zero, I'm pitting because I'm bored. Okay, well, if you tell me who you are in the race, and then I might specifically be able to put your name to a car, you see. Because obviously we don't know everybody's YouTube handle here on the JPB YouTube channel. So if you can tell us who you are, that would be a lot more informative for us. And we'll be able to put a face or a car to a name, should we say.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic. Hopefully, get a nice restart off, and this will be interesting. Witt is now in P2, so he's going to have a very interesting time having to restart off of Hannah.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that ends up playing out, because usually it's Witt who gets the great jump off, but this time he has to wait. And if you look at the track, the start-finish line isn't at the apex of the tri-oval. It's actually a little further along. There's a very not exciting reason as to why that is, but it's the literal problem for it, or the literal reason was actually money. The guy who built the track wanted there to be 2 prime spots for people to sit in the grandstand, so you get the battle going up the grandstand right in front, and then the actual finish line. So there's more spaces where it's high drama for people to pay more to sit there.
Well, there we go, into the restart zone. Hannah's gone. He's gone once more. And we're under green on lap 24. We have got a stage break in about 6 laps time. And let's see how this one works out here as well. Wow, that was a big move there. Look at the break that he's done throughout the field. There gaps appearing. There's more gaps here on this racetrack than there is in my hairline at the moment. So that is just unbelievable there. Hannah did a barnstorming job on that restart.
Yeah, that was a fantastic jump. Obviously, Witt closed up on him fairly quickly, but the two of them can kind of work together now, especially with that gap forming behind them to Lewis, unless Lewis can kind of utilize Ross behind him to get a good push. This little group of 4, if they work together, they can really cause a separation between them and that next pack, albeit it'll kind of depend, because obviously we have the stage break coming up in now 5 laps. So it's not going to hold super long, but that's definitely something to keep in mind if they're going to really push like that for the second stage going to the finish line. Because if you can kind of create that break there, you guys can just go and you create that huge space, and then you're no longer having to worry about getting caught up in too many issues, because it's just the 4 of you sticking together.
Yeah, that did work. That didn't work. Calvin Ross and the group have caught back up. So unfortunately for them, they didn't quite get away. However, Hannah and Witt are still a little bit further up, with Almquist trying to push along. McGuigan's trying to take it 3 wide at one point. We are 3 wide. That is going to be scary for anybody sitting on that outside line thinking, oh no. We've settled back into 2. We've got Strada, Malcolm, Spainhour further back, of course. We've got McLaughlin, Strada and Spainhour in the same chat. So McLaughlin is all the way up, currently sitting in 6th place. Currently at this moment in time, he's got no help from any of his team behind. So unfortunately for them, there's no help coming at that moment in time. He's going to have to do this pretty much solo. And there's 3 wide further back as well. McGuigan is not afraid to take this 3 wide if he needs to here.
No, and it's going to end up costing him, because he's just going to keep falling further and further out of line. And like, you can see Calvin Ross dropped all the way back, and he was ahead of McLaughlin there, and now he's 2 positions back in the span of a straightaway. Not the straightaway, in the corner. And that all has to do with just your inability to really hold a lot of pace when your car is by itself and every other car is in a traffic zone. So you kind of have to work together. You need to sort of push with each other and sort of be teammates even with people who aren't your teammates until the last few laps. At that point, then it's all for one for all and all for one. Yeah, them trying this third line, it might work. Right now, it's really going to hurt Radel, as he's going to have kind of a weird spot. They have 4 cars high, 4 cars mid, and then it looks like about 6 cars low. It's not ideal. And unfortunately, it looks like McQuiggan's going around.
He is. Come down on Ross, I think.
Yep, he definitely did, as he almost gets sidetracked by the pace car there.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the understanding that's going to be the stage break as well, and I think it's going to be Noel Hanna. I don't think, because by the time we've got in pace car and come out, I think this is going to be Noel Hanna's stage break. Let's have a look and see what caused the yellow. Oh, you go a little bit further back, sir. Yeah, McQuiggan comes down on Ross, and Ross just sends him around.
Fortunately for that 60 car, I think that's the 3rd time he's been collected and had nothing to do with it, so he's, I'm sure, having a fun time, just getting bashed around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, McQuiggan, it looked like he was trying to come down and keep a low line, and unfortunately for him, Calvin Ross had started to come up a touch, but it's definitely McQuiggan needed to keep that a little higher. It looked like he was trying to go for a gap there so he could get himself back on sort of that middle section or that middle grouping, and just reacted too late and wasn't able to get there.
Yeah, let's bring Noel Hanna in to the booth and have a quick chat with Noel, your stage 1 winner. We are going to be taking it. This will be the stage break. Mr. Hanna, how are you, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. First stage win, finally. Haven't had one of those yet this season, so here we are.
Yay, and you've done it in the playoffs. Not bad at all.
Yeah, best time to get one, I guess.
The only time, isn't it, really? This is when the points mean the most, mate, going into this 4-race playoff. Any tracks you're looking forward to? Any tracks you're scared of?
Actually, I'm looking forward to Watkins Glen. I can't say we will have a guaranteed win or anything against the likes of Jordy or Alex or Dan, but I do like the road courses. Vegas, kind of unsure of, but these first 2 are kind of where I got to get all I can get.
Yeah, you're going to go out and grab as much as you can.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. It could be the only plan there as well, but, going forward, no, you're going for the win. Now, I'm going to presume that's going to be the situation. How are you going to play to getting into the top 4? Are you going to try and get there for a win, or are you going to try and get there on points? What's the situation in your head at this moment in time? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I'm still upset at Harmon for putting the Talladega as the first playoff race. It's going to make it, you can't really have a game plan just yet, because it's, the winner could be from anywhere in the field. I'd like to stay consistent and do it on points, but you never know. So you got to play the first one for the win, most likely.
Absolutely. I fully agree. Well, no, good luck, bud, and have a good one.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Take care. Well, there we go from Noel Hanna. It doesn't sound too, he's not happy about Dega being the first one, mind you.
I can kind of see it. It is a very technical track with no technical aspects. You have to know how to drive it.
Are you saying it's a nickel track?
It's a which, sorry?
Are you saying it's a nickel track?
A nickel track?
Yeah, you said it was a technical track with no technical. So does it make it nickel?
Basically. Yeah, you have to know how to drive in a group, but outside of that, it's just keep it floored and just keep driving in it. There's no real weird aspects to the track that make it a little different in a lot of ways. Like you're not having the with Charlotte having that double corner coming off the tri-oval, or Dover's really tight corners and high banking where you have to kind of really feather the throttles, or Bristol where you're almost going the reverse of, instead of, you want to kind of almost go down up instead of up down to get through. It's just put the pedal down and stick to a straight line as best you can, and hope you don't go start wiggling too much and no one takes you out. And so it makes it a little more interesting, especially for a playoff aspect, because it's not necessarily the most who's best at driving, it's just who can read pack the best, in a sense. So by no means is it a bad track. It's a lot of fun. I absolutely love Dega weeks, and it all just comes down to how well you can keep a car going straight and going forward opposed to ending up backwards or sideways. So I kind of understand what he's saying.
Right, okay. I do love the full flats though. That's the one I think that kind of gets you excited. I think the full flats, watching these cars hurtle around the track and just go in for it. All this little Martinsville where it's just like just all the way around.
Fair enough, and it is a lot of fun. I mean, they are exciting. They're full on, hammer down, let's go, which is always more exciting, and it always adds a level of intensity that isn't usually there on some of those short tracks, because you can kind of just go, okay, yeah, there's another left, another left, another left. Whereas this, it's like, okay, he's always trying to make a move, but he has no one with him, and then he drops down and then has to get back into a pack, and it does add it's a different type of craziness going on, opposed to just a wreck fest sort of thing, outside of the big one that they always seem to get, that we're hoping doesn't happen.
No.
Just hope for that.
3 green white checkers here this evening. Now, where is it all? Apart from Lydia, where are Terry Spano Senior's here, Billy's in as well. Lydia's here. Where's brother and mum? Where are we at tonight as we're just about to go racing after the stage break, after the third caution? It is going to be up and running now. Anthony Radel is your pole man. Into the Geico restart zone once more. He's gone already. We're going to be underway here for another turn at Talladega, and it is all green, green, green. Everybody seems to have made it through. Tony Hedge is still in the pits here, but at the moment it's Radel, Hannah, Witt and Lewis are your top 4, with Almquist in the 5th place, just moving in to 4th there as well. There is a big gap again from the cars once more. Calvin Ross kind of nestled in no man's land. He needs to kind of get back up onto the 86 of Spain now here early on, and seeing how he gets on. But yeah, once more underway, Kenton, once more back into the breach for these guys, and they've only got 29 laps remaining.
Yeah, it's I absolutely love it, because yeah, it's just get on the horse and let's go. But yeah, you need to tighten that up. That outside line needs to get a lot closer together. I know I can see Keith is now 4 wide going into turn 1 here, which is an interesting choice. Not one I would really have liked to see with all that. Is now, yeah, we can see Josh Kahn dropping slowly as he doesn't have anybody to push with him, but at the same time taking Malcolm with him, as Malcolm now has nobody with him. So Malcolm needs to drop down or get ahead of that group there, and just trying to find a space to get in, because now they're just gonna draw a pack draft. Once you get out of it, you get chewed up, spit out the back, and there's nothing you can really do about it at that point. So this little group of 3 now that you see on the outside, they're gonna really have to push together, and the only reason that bottom line isn't pushing or going straight by them is because they have all these gaps, and you can see there's too much space between these cars, especially right there. You can see between Almquist and I believe that's Sherman, there's just too much of a gap. They need to be a little closer together to kind of utilize the draft a lot better.
Yeah, and they are now closing each other up. Radel, Hannah, Zach Lewis in out in front. Spainhour and Brown and McLaughlin. Of course, they are in the same chat. They are talking together. Mr. Senior there as well. Go ahead and get the win. Well, you know me. Love to see that one. Brothers here too. Drop shot, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's see what brother can do on the racetrack in the 86. Can he get the victory? Me personally, I'd love to absolutely stand up in my office and scream a Spainhour win. I've got to be honest. And it would be absolutely incredible. It's going to be tough, mind you, with the likes of Lewis, Radel, Hannah, Witt, all in here together. So it is definitely going to be a tough one for these guys, but they are closing slowly back up. Tony Edge has dropped a good few laps down now. He's been in the pits for a while. So from his perspective, I think could be, I don't know if he's still going to be keeping going. Be great if he could, of course. But it's going to be tough as that top line now comes in to a 5-wide chain, and once more they're under full force going again. And Brown and McLaughlin takes the lead. Currently at the moment, lap 34. Spainhour's gone with him. Would you drop down onto that inside line now? There we go.
Just like that. Yeah. And that was fantastic from McLaughlin and Spainhour, and that was exactly what you want to see. Like, they got themselves ahead, and I mean, it kind of left Malcolm out to dry just a little bit. But if you're McLaughlin and Spainhour, that worked out beautifully because you were able to get ahead. They got gap for the both of them, and now they can kind of work together from the front to sort of keep that line. Because unless Lewis has Radel and Hannah want to go with him to the outside, they can just kind of it's going to stay a single line. I know Hannah deciding to try and go to that outside, but he's going to think better of it and stick back down, because the moment he did that, Radel started to drop off. You can see this little gap starting to form behind them as Spainhour has been keeping it very close with McLaughlin. He's not giving him too much space, but he's also not causing any issues, and this is actually going to help them both out, as now that they're up near the front there, they're really able to kind of push together. And then if they can get Zachary Lewis kind of tied up with them, I mean, they've got just around a 10 millisecond, or a tenth between the two of them, so they can really push and hope to kind of sneak away a win that no one expected.
Yeah, definitely. And Brown and McLaughlin get an instant in there into the final four if they take the victory. It is out of these, obviously the playoff places. If they do win, they go instantly through to the playoffs. So it's all about getting that victory in here. I think that's going to be the thing. They're going to have to try and push here and get this victory, and trying to see how they get on once more. I'm really going for this early on. I do like this. 24 to go. 24 to go. And it is a front pack here of McLaughlin, Spainhour, Lewis, Radel, Hannah, and Witt. Almquist has just lost that position to Malcolm. I believe Malcolm is still trying to fight that outside line. Not entirely sure it's the best move, but he hasn't got the gap to try and get back in. That's the problem. There's no gap there. What he's got to be able to do, he either drops off and drops in behind Almquist right about now and hopes to try and tie up, or he goes for it and hopes he can pull the 83 behind him, which is Josh Curran, of course, and the number 4 car, which is Keith, to try and get that forward again. He's just got no gap to drop in, Ken, and he can't seem to pull it in.
Yeah, he's got no gap to drop into, unless basically, yeah, he slows down. The problem that top line is having, the 3 cars, they could do some damage right now in terms of gaining space and gaining some time, but the issue is they're not in line. They keep, one car kind of bumps a little further out, and that's there gives them a little bump draft, and they're hoping that'll help, but there's too much of a gap between them coming into and out of corners, so they're not really able to hold it. As you see, he gets a little bit of that bump draft there, and that's going to propel them, but then they lose that 4 car off on the back there, and it's going to drop back right away. So you need, like this kind of racing, this pack draft, you need to be close. You need to have very minimal gaps, and you need to really push together. Trying to have only 2 of you makes it a lot harder when you see a line of 6-7 cars below you. You're really not going to get as much of a spacing as you want, and it does make it a lot harder.
Okay, 22 on the clock now. They've got to close out that top 3. of Jordan Malcolm, Kuhn, and also the number 4 of Keith to try and make that difference. There's a little bit more bump drafting going on the back there, and there he goes again. It's almost like he's given a stick of dynamite, put it in an exhaust, and they popped it off, and then he goes again. But then they drop the car off the back, and that, unfortunately, stick of dynamite extinguishes, and they drop back. So they've got to keep in that line here as well. The front line, the bottom line is running really well. As we say, they've got to keep Keith onto the back end. They've got to keep that line going. They've got to keep going. Tony Edge has finally come out of the pits. Well done to Tony for carrying on here as well. Calvin Ross is now joined onto the back of the 4. Can he make a difference on that outside line and push this outside line forward? They're losing time. They're not gaining as much. They're in between Witt and Enquires consistently and have been for the last 3 or 4 laps. They've got to try and make this difference as we go into the last 21.
Yeah, and Calvin Ross, I don't think should have hopped out of where he was. I get what he's trying to do. Like, you're trying to make moves, you're trying to make your way up the field there, but they've already, like, he lost a position to Sherman. He has gotten it back, but that it's not necessarily going to be what Calvin Ross can do to bring that together. It's actually going to be those middle cars. So the car behind you is the one that actually really helps with getting that space. As we see, ooh, that almost got a little spicy with Radel there trying to look on the inside as Lewis went a little high coming out of the tri-oval there. But because that, you know, the 83 is pushed up with Malcolm, which is great, and like that's what you want there. The issue is the 4 car keeps dropping off or getting out of line, which is preventing the 83 from being able to maintain that momentum, which then pulls the 35 back to him. Calvin Ross being there isn't really going to help as much because the 4 keeps still kind of losing that line. You can see how they go staggered through there, and you're not able to hold that straight line, and it just kills all momentum you get, and you end up slowly kind of dropping back or not gaining nearly as much as you should be, because in reality, this group of 4 shouldn't be struggling this hard. Now, having a long line like the bottom line is here, with there's 6, 7, 8 cars, and they're fairly close together. You get a little bit of wiggling and stuff like that, but you still have Lewis, Spainhour, and McLaughlin all fairly close together. They're staying fairly straight. They're not having nearly as many wiggles, and they're not going up a full lane in between or even half a lane. They're going to just carry more speed into and out of corners that way.
Yeah, I love the fact. Billy's in YouTube chat. My heart is pounding. My heart is pounding. Stay on that, Carl. Senior says as well to the boy. And we've got Armand in as well. If Terry wins this place, we'll party till the end of time. Absolutely. As well, up in the booth, I've got my family above me all sleeping currently at the moment as well, so I can't be too loud. But there may be a little bit of a cheer going on as well as we're going into 18 to go. The problem is, this is where the situation lies. He's trying to help Brandon McLaughlin in front, and he's come in and said that he's trying to help Brandon. So I don't think he's going to be pushing for the win. I think he will stay in that position and try and help Brandon McLaughlin as much as possible. You know, no matter how much being, a Spainhour fan, I'd love to see him push on and go forward with it and take the win. I just think because of the team player, because of the way he's working with Brandon McLaughlin, I can't see him going for the win. I think if anybody's going to get this, it is going to be McLaughlin. That outside line's moving now, Kenton. They seem to have got their brains into gear a little bit, and now they pushed up past the Enquires chain that they were, and Malcolm's coming. He's coming like a banshee.
And now, but then he lost that line, and they're going to drop back just a little bit. So now they're going to pop back into 4th there. And it looks like, unfortunately, Ross did drop back into that front or that bottom line, and Sherman's gone to the outside now. But you can see it lost momentum again, and they dropped, a little bit back. They're going to try and reel it in again, but it does seem like they've gained a little bit. But you can see that bottom line is already pushed up again. And this little collection of 4 they gave. Ooh, as Radel gets a little spicy. And see, the next thing, Jordan Malcolm finally also figured out side draft the crap out of that lower line. Hold them, get close, especially on straightaways. You want to be close, because what you can see he's doing there is by getting close, he's actually disrupting the air and forcing some of his air that he's cutting through onto Lewis, which is going to pull him back and reduce the amount of actual speed he's able to get from the lower line draft. But see now, and as soon as he moves away from it,
they drop
Lewis
back.
is gone. Although Lewis is going to be, looks like I don't know. Lewis looks like he might be trying to make a move here with the use of Malcolm as well, going to that outside line, but he did not have much momentum coming off, but he's going to get that little bomb trick. Oh no, there's going to be a crash behind them.
Oh,
I don't know if it's going to bring out a yellow. It is. So McLaughlin actually was in first, so he will most likely, when that flag came out, he will keep that first place. But Lewis is going to now be P2, which actually works out really well for Spainhauer and McLaughlin there. With Lewis getting up into P2, that now means Spainhauer will stay 3, and barring whatever changes happen with the pits here. And Spainhauer's going to be right behind McLaughlin again, so they're going to have another kind of duo team being able to sort of force their way through and utilize as much of that tandem draft as they can.
Oh, blimey. This ain't doing me any favours, I'm not going to lie. All right, let's have a look. Did Keith come down? What happened with the yellow? That's a little bit bizarre.
It was, I think...
Josh Keith.
Was it Keith?
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
It was a little high. I did see cars turning, so I know it happened. I saw it.
Yeah. Huh?
Looks like Noel Hanna was actually the one involved, because I don't see him. Yeah, he's way out the back now.
Okay, I'm trying to just find where it may have been. There.
It was, oh, there it is. There we go. Okay, yeah, so Noel Hanna gets collected. It looks like
Keith
the 83 car. Yeah. The 83 car just came down.
He come out of his line, look. Boom, and it was almost bump drafted from the number 4. That put him down the order. Twisted him up, didn't he? Which is what we were speaking about earlier on, and that unfortunately led to where we're at now. But Zach Lewis is out. Everybody's in the pits currently at the moment. So I have Mike. I've gone back. Cool, blimey, Mike Matt there in chat. Give me a grief. So there's only so far you don't want to go all the way back. I don't want to go all the way back. You know what I mean? You're trying to find it. Look, I can come back, right back to here. Right, watch Keith. It's the 83 car. Keith, there we go. The 83 into Hannah.
The 83 is Joshua.
Joshua Kern, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was like, wait, Keith did what?
No,
yes,
no.
Yeah,
But Keith hit the initial impact. Just helping you out. Fine. Thanks, Mike. Honestly, I think I got there a little bit, bud. I got there a little bit. I've been doing a few. You know what I mean? Bless. YouTube chat giving me assistance there as well. Thank you, Mike, though. I've got it. We got all the way back there, mate. Got all the way back. It's all good. It's all gravy. Right. So, 4th caution of the evening. Here on lap 45. 14 to go. And unfortunately...
Now, this is for your Spainhauer fans here. This is going to be the tough start. So he's going to be in that top line. If I'm Spainhauer, as soon as I see any form of a gap open up on that bottom lane, I drop down. Because the top line will always have less cars, and the more cars you can get connected, the faster you're going to go. So with him trying, if you're on that outside lane, even if you're Malcolm here, who's in P2, or Cody Kern, Keith, any of those guys, as soon as you see that lower line, unless your lane is moving, like unless you've actually got a bunch of guys who are willing to stay up there, my first thought is going to be get down quick, get as much sort of run support or draft support as you can get, and just get going. Because yeah, trying to sit there on that top lane, if there's only 2 or 3 of you that stay up there, you're going to lose a lot of momentum. You're going to lose a lot of speed, and that bottom lane is just going to go.
Right, Lydia, run in and tell him. Kenton said, get on that bottom lane as soon as possible. Don't mess around. Find a gap, go. don't obviously drop too far back in the process unless you can keep everybody else with you. He has got Brandon McLaughlin behind him, man. So
that will help.
That will help. And the number 21 as well of Anthony Radel. Brandon McLaughlin, Josh McGuigan, Christian Schrader and TJ are all in the same chat room. I'm sure they're communicating consistently here as well. 13 to go. 3 green-white checkers. And now this is it. This is it. I think I'm delayed. You were still on the front stretch. Okay, mate. No worries at all. We got you. It's fine. Right. I think you're about 10 or 15 seconds behind me, actually, to be fair. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie, dearie me. All of you sit comfortably at home. Hope you're enjoying this. The last 13.
Yeah, it's the beauty of NASCAR racing. As much as, you know, everyone likes as a joke, and it's just go fast, turn left. This is where it gets your heart pounding, because you're sitting there watching, and it can go so right and so wrong so fast. You know, things change on a dime. Like we were talking about. I mean, McQuiggan was in 16th, then he was 1st, now he's 13th. Things change very quickly in oval racing.
Yeah, Josh Keefe there in that one as well. Greg Sherman, McQuiggan there. Kuhn is still in the Joshua Kuhn is still in the pits. There goes the pace car. Zach Lewis is officially your pace car now with Jordan Malcolm on the outside. Can they get that outside line going? Can they make it? Here we go. Sit tight, buckle up, breathe. Everybody breathe. Get your oxygen tanks on. Zach Lewis is going to be coming into the Geico restart zone very, very shortly. And hopefully for the final time, we're underway. We're underway. We're underway. He's gone already. He's gone already. Get in. Get in. Don't let him through. Get in. Drop. No. Drop. Drop. Oh, the gap was there.
I think he was actually trying to let McLaughlin get through so he could get up there, but unfortunately that's going to end up, ooh, that's a little sketchy. Almquist trying to do a bump draft going through a corner. That's never a favorite thing, but they at least they've gotten going now, and Spainhour is going to give a little bit of a bump draft there to Malcolm, and these guys need to stay connected, and you need to start pushing because that bottom line is moving. Though unfortunately it looks like the 23 car of Kern kind of get himself caught out. He does give a little tank slapper there to Anthony Radel, but this top line now has a little bit of speed. They've got a little momentum coming out of this corner, so that's going to help them out a lot.
Here we go, 12 to go. 12 to go, the top line's coming. The top line is coming. Kern has got to stay in. Malcolm's got to stay in. Spainhour, McLaughlin, get in. Here we go. We're going to get enthralled by this because this is going to be it now. Is it going to be Malcolm? Is he going to take the win? Is Spainhour going to get it? Is McLaughlin going to get it? Is anyone going to get it out of this playoff position currently at the moment in time? Here we go. Settle down. 11 to go. Building up here at Sweet Home, Alabama. Sorry, I couldn't help it. It's going to be a tough one, isn't it? This is it now. They need to get moving on that top, or they need to get in.
They need to. There's nowhere really for them to get in, unfortunately. So yeah, they got to just start working together. And unfortunately for them, they kind of lost their leader there as Cody Kern dropped in front of Lewis, and he's kind of taking that in this that you see right now of that group kind of separating out. I don't know if Malcolm's having a problem or what, but because of that, that's gonna put a massive hindrance on that top lane as they're gonna have to try and get around and then get back up to speed and try and keep everything going forward. But unfortunately, yeah, Malcolm's now sort of in the way of them dropping low, but causing a little bit of an issue for them to try and stay with that speed there. So they kind of lost a lot of momentum, and lifting for half a second or 1 second on a race like this, on a distance like this is not ideal for sure.
Spainhour's dropped in as well. Is he going to try and go back out, mind you? Oh, bro, you're getting hung out higher than an eye. Hang out. Come on, come on, come on. You got to get into a line. You got to get onto the back of something. Get your fishing rod out the window. I don't care how you do it. Oh, they're 3 wide.
McQuiggan's going to go 3 wide coming through here. There's they're 3 wide, 2 deep now. That's McQuiggan's got himself a run as they go 4 wide.
Contact
That's
here.
not what you see.
Armquist
And there goes Radel. And yep, that's going to be 3 at least collected as we're going to bring the yellow flag. If you guys manage to make your way through, but that's gonna hurt.
Woo. Oh, dearie me, dearie me. I don't know how anybody else is handling this, but I am not handling this very well. Let's see now what happened on the yellow. There it all is, Radel kicking it all off.
Lachlan managed to keep himself clear and get through all that. Same with Malcolm, so a little beneficial for them. And as it looks like, hopefully not too much damage done for the guys a little bit further back. But this is just a continuation of the whole. Things change very quickly. McQuiggan went from as you can see, yeah, it looks like Almquist there, and Radel, and Ross. Almquist and Ross kind of get connected, and then end up spinning Radel, who gets a nice cheeky little love tap.
God blimey, dude, this is getting tough.
Yeah, it's stressful. Oval racing is very stressful.
Oh, dearie me. Well, it's going to be 8 to go. How is this all going to pan out? Would you pit now?
No. Unless you're in dire need of fuel, no. Where you have a lot of damage you want to try and repair, there's no point. It's similar in the sense of like Talladega, where your tire wear isn't going to be super high.
Yeah.
You can just keep kind of pushing. So if you've got the fuel to do it, I wouldn't. I would keep track position and just kind of force your way through it, unless again you have damage, which Radel, Almquist will both have, which is why they're going to come in.
Oh, Radel's misses pit
you
box.
overshot it.
Ah!
It's not what you want to do, that's for sure.
Anthony Radel misses pit box there. Oh, God blimey. It's not good on the old nerves, I'm not going to lie. Not good on the old nerves.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick...
This has put Witt in a good position for him to get a win here.
Yeah, let's have a quick chat with Armand Brusso here. Armand, of course, doing all the background stuff this evening as well. Armand, welcome in, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It turns out being race control is just as stressful as driving.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that's working out for you.
It's going all right. It was a little touch and go early. I was planning on doing race control at the beginning, and then when numbers were a little low, I put the headset on, got in the car. As I put the headset on, everybody showed up, so I took the headset back off and got back in the chair.
All right. How do you see it going? Give me a prediction quick. We've got 7 laps.
As long as Cody's internet holds up, I think he can win. But I'm going to say that someone from the mid-pack might squeak through, so I'm going to say Strader might sneak it.
Okay, I've wrote it down. So that's it now. The evidence is on my piece of paper. It's definitely stressful going into the last 7 laps, isn't it? We've had this racing, we've had 5 cautions now. Everybody's coming in. What are they feeling as drivers in the car? You know, you're in the chat room with a lot of them. What's the general air of the sort of environment down there at the moment?
Right. So do you remember how stressed I sounded when you interviewed me and when I had to lead last week?
Yeah, and you ran out of fuel.
Yeah, that's pretty much how stressed everybody is in that chat right now.
So are they all silent?
No, there's a lot of screaming. People like panicking a little bit when people are getting a little close to each other. It's definitely a fun time listening to what's going on.
Okay, mate. Well, we'll put you back in there as well. Keep an eye out. Let us know what's going on. But it's been an interesting one. We've got 7 to go, and we'll see who's going to come out victorious. But Armand, thank you for joining us, buddy.
All right, enjoy the rest of the race.
I'm trying, mate. My heart's pounding. It's just not going well. I've got to be honest.
I'm right there with you.
We got this. Let's do it. Right, Armand, thank you so much, bud. I'll put you back in.
All right.
Of course, that was Armand Brusso, the league owner here at the BSC as well. he sounds just as stressed as everybody else on race control. So, yeah.
This top line might do some damage here. This is a very fast top lane. You've got Witt, McQuiggan, Strader, and Hannah all in a row on that outside line. And
Malcolm.
And Malcolm, yeah. That's going to be a fast top lane. Especially if they can work together to kind of get themselves ahead. Ooh, that could be a spicy little top lane that goes flying by.
And here comes Almquist to join onto the back of Spainhour as well. So Spainhour is going to have some assistance going forward, but it is going to be Cody Kern. Is going to be your front runner, and unfortunately for him, he's got the ever fast Alex Witt right beside him. Nathaniel there coming in with, whoa, Teddy! So let's see how this one pans out. But be prepared. 6 to go. 3 grid GWCs. How is this going to work out?
Stressfully. That's, that's all I can say.
Don't. Next week is Watkins Glen. My nerves are on edge. I might have to stand up in a minute. It's never going to work sitting down, I don't think. Coming down is doing these last 6.
Oh yeah, they're going to be. You can see them. Everyone's nice and close. Everyone's getting up tight. It's this is oval racing for you.
Here we go. Sherman needs to be tucked in, otherwise that bottom line's going to suffer it. He needs to get closer.
Yep.
He needs to get closer.
Noel Hannah has to get a little closer to Strada there as well.
Here we go. Once more, settle in, breathe in, hold it if you can. You've got about 3 minutes. Hurricane's gone. Witt's got in straight away. He got in straight away. He jumped Zach Lewis. He got out of that top line straight away. He's now pulled back out again.
And then, okay. Alex Witt seems very unsure of what he's hoping to do here. And has kind of left himself out on an island, but that top lane.
Here they come, look at
they're working
this.
to get, they are gone. That was quick. And now if you're Witt and McQuiggan, you're dropping down.
Yep.
I would, maybe pull Noel Hannah with you.
Oh,
drop down
Strada's left.
and go.
Strada's left. Look at him.
McQuiggan just got left out now by Noel Hannah, but it looks like McQuiggan's actually going for the lead here. He's using a little bit of that draft from Malcolm, but he's not going to get quite enough momentum coming off that last corner. He's going to need Malcolm to get right up on him and really start pushing.
Oh, here we go. 5 to go. I'm up on my feet. The family's going to hear me. There might be a bit of moaning. I could be sleeping on the sofa tomorrow if I wake the house up, especially the sleeping bear that is the wife. So here we go. We're going to be coming round now. Top line's got to get in. You've got to get in. You tuck it in.
This is going to work out beautifully. Malcolm's pushing McQuiggan along here. If you're McQuiggan, you almost want to sort of stick with this top group because they are just moving a lot faster.
You are. Don't forget, we've got McLaughlin, McGuigan, Strada and Spainhour are all in the chat room together. They know what they're doing. They're working. The front 4 are all talking. They're all chatting away. Alex Witt has been strung out like my old lady hanging out the washing. I'm not going to lie. Here we go. It's going to be that top line. The win's going to come from the top line. We've got 4 to go.
You got to be worried, though. Witt's starting to get a little bit of push from Noel Hannah.
It's been an instant. Zach Lewis. Oh, it's a culture.
No way. Oh, that was as beautifully done by McQuiggan, Malcolm, and McLaughlin as it could have been. Even Spainhour actually manages to get himself into 4th. I'm curious if he's going to be, if he's in P4 with that group, that could be
James
a little
having an
interesting.
yeah. Oh, Zach Lewis. Let's have a look back. Oh, Radel.
Just goes right up into Radel and unfortunately sends himself into that wall. And loses another fender, and it looks like Radel lost a fender.
Yeah. Right, I think it would be very unkind of me to pull people in the interview room under the GWC here, because that's what we're going to have. So I'm going to leave these boys to it. These battling gladiators are going to stay where they are. McGuigan, Malcolm, McLaughlin, Witt, Spainhour. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. If you are not sat at home chewing your fingernails until there is no more nails, Lydia, you are seriously got nerves of steel. I'm even sat here in absolute sheer panic of what's going to happen with 3 to go. I'm not going to lie. I am stood up. It's going to just be unbelievably crazy for the third and well, I'm going to say the
first of possibly 3.
The first, yeah, the first of possibly 3 here. Oh, dearie, dearie me. Radel Lewis is in the pits as well. Keith's in there. So be prepared.
This front 4 is going to get a little interesting. I mean, you've got McQuiggan, McLaughlin, and Spainhour on that bottom set, and then you've got Malcolm, Witt, and Hannah on the top group. So I guess the top 6 really are going to be right close. So you do get that kind of Strauder's up there. He's going to be with that bottom lane, so they're going to get a good push. But this is going to get real interesting real quick.
How are you going to work this out, right? Because you've got McLaughlin, McGuigan, Strada, Spainhour all in one chat. Strada's on a different line compared to these ones.
Yeah, I mean, for them, Strada is going to just be they hope he's going to help kind of thing in that regard. But if you're McLaughlin, and Spainhour, you're going, all right, push. Just get up, attached, and just go. And it's going to be hope you can kind of stick together, because even if you only got that 3, we did see that outside line worked really well on that last kind of stint before the caution came out, but by no means is that, you know, going to work this exact same this round. You know, tires are a little bit more worn, and Witt tends to be fairly quick. It's going to all depend kind of how well does Malcolm get off the line, how well does Hannah get off the line and able to kind of hold on and push with them.
Well, I have no idea. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but we have got, you can see it on the left-hand side from the timing tower with the red around the shade of their names. McGuigan, Malcolm, McLaughlin and Witt all in the playoffs. Hannah Strada there as well. Armquist is there as well. We've got the top 8, the playoff finalists in the top 10 currently at the moment. And we're going to be having McGuigan, McLaughlin, I think, as well in the same line as Witt. Spainhour is going to be on the outside. He's got to look at whether or not he's going to work with Malcolm. It's going to be a difficult one, I think. We're going to be going out into the 2 lines very, very shortly. The lights are on, still on the pace car. It's going to be a difficult one here. Get ready. Prodigy, Spainhour's brother's just about to have a go into cardiac arrest, apparently. So we might need an ambulance going out at some point. But be prepared for this, because this is going to be an epic ending with 3 laps to go. They're going to start partaking and take their lanes. Here we go. Oh.
So yeah, you're going to get McQuiggan, McLaughlin, and Spainhour on that bottom group, and then you're going to have Malcolm, Witt, and Hannah on that top section. So we'll see who can work together the best.
Well, McLaughlin, McGuigan, and Strada, and the Spainhour, then 4 on the bottom are all in the same chat here. So this is going to be interesting. The only one who's not in currently, actually, even Witt is in with Hannah and Malcolm. So be prepared here as well. Malcolm is in with Witt and Hannah, and then we've got the McLaughlin, McGuigan, Strada, Spainhour. So it's the bottom 4 versus the top 4 on the first of, well, hopefully not the first of 3, but we are under GWC. So be prepared for this one. Chew your nails down. I don't know what else you would do, but this is just going to be an ending and a half here. And let's hope we don't get another yellow, because I don't think my heart could take another one. Fun fact, I dropped to not cluster up the last few laps. Godspeed, fellas, says Tonteezy. Who are you? Tell me your name in the race, sir. I can't work it out from YouTube. But here we go. Deary me. Deary me. This is nervous. This is just unbelievable here.
It'll get your nerves all riled up, your heart racing a little bit.
Who's going to win? Quick. Kenton, who's going to win?
Quiggin.
Okay.
Quiggin. Gotta go with my boy, my Canadian.
Here we go. Tony Hedge. Okay, Tony, thanks so much there, buddy. Right. Bottom line, all in the same four, all in the chat room. Top line, all in the chat room. They're separated in the Discord. They're separated as we're going along. The top line are literally hugging that bottom line. Look at this. They are bunching up. They're in the restart zone. He's gone already. He's gone. We are green. Is that top line going to be able to do this? Is the bottom line going to push? Spain now needs to get back in. Get back in. Oh, get back in. You need to get back in and push the bottom. It's all about McGuigan out in front. 3 to go, 2 to go here. Here we go. The top line's come in. McGuigan almost went out. Oh, no.
He went for the block. That was actually beautifully done. He goes for that block, kind of causes them to break up a little bit. That's going to leave Witt dropped all the way back.
He's hanging out.
Witt is done. That is going to ruin his race completely. And now McLaughlin and Spainhour and McQuiggan can all kind of work together here, and they can really push. And that royally messed up Witt there by McQuiggan with that little bit of a block there. And that's a completely illegal move in NASCAR there. You just go up, you try and stop that upside, that top lane, and really hope you can push together and prevent them from getting ahead of you. Although it's Witt looks like he's trying to go on the outside here again. No, Hannah catches it. And I don't know about you, but if I'm McQuiggan, I don't know if I can drive well on my side, as he does flip back over, but...
Is there a yellow? Is the caution out?
No, the caution never came out.
It never came out. It's going to be McQuiggan and McLaughlin. Final lap, here we go. Oh, McLaughlin strung out like a true. Why was there not a yellow? It's going to be Malcolm's going to take it.
What? How is there?
Why is that not a yellow?
No yellow?
It's going to be Jordan Malcolm. I think it's going to be Jordan Malcolm. Oh.
Cody Kern.
Got it. I think Kern got it.
Oh man, if those times are accurate by 1,000 or 100th and 300ths of a second.
Oh. Let's have a look, see if we can get it on the photo finish. Here we go. We're under a slow-mo. We'll try and stop it dead as the cars come across. It's going to be a tricky one, I think. Where are they currently? They're coming round now. We'll get ready with the photo finish cam. But be prepared. This was just unbelievable. Coming round now. You see them start separating soon. And they start coming in, and this is going to be where it all comes in now. Did Cody Kern drop down?
Yeah, because Cody goes up top and tries to use all of that momentum, and because he went high, he's able to hold a little bit of speed and use a little less input on the or on the steering wheel. So he's able to carry. Oh, he just got it.
Got it.
Ooh, that is tight.
Oh, Cody Kern. Look at that. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable action. Why was there no? Because the white flag was out, there was no yellow. Because the white flag was out, there was no yellow. That's why it never come out there as well, but because it was on the white flag lap, there was no yellow. I don't know if I can take this. I really don't. I can't do this for 4 rounds. This is going to kill me. Right, Cody Kern.
Well, thankfully, our next race is a road race, so it shouldn't be as intense.
Cody Kern, your first place man by literally 1/100th of a second there as well. Malcolm behind him, and then McLaughlin behind that. And literally the front two separated by barely a 1/10.5 here with Strada, with Almquist in 5th, Zach Lewis 6th, Ross 7th, Hannah 8th, Witt down in 9th there, Josh Keefe in 10th, Sherman 11th, McGuigan 12th, Spainhour 13th in the end, Radel 14th, Hedge 15th, Kern 16th, and of course that's the end of that, because we know Armand did not take the start, but well, I just don't know. And let's start with Brandon McLaughlin here, who's joined us in the booth this evening. Well, Brandon, how are you, sir? That couldn't have been any closer.
Oh man, my heart is throbbing.
Yeah, I can, dude. I can feel. I'm not even in the car, dude. Like literally straight up, and my heart's going absolutely crazy.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was just an unbelievable ending. Was you surprised the yellow didn't come out after the incident? Because obviously it's been confirmed that once the white flag's thrown, if there is a incident after, the yellow doesn't come out.
Yeah, at first I was just surprised I didn't get wiped out. I got hit in that accident, but it didn't take me out. And then I'm like, oh, where's the caution? So I let off for a second. But then I realized it was a last lap, and I just kept going. Ended up catching their draft. I was still in range.
Did you think once you dropped down, though, you were going to get it?
I was hoping. I should have stayed closer to the 35. I could have side drafted him and maybe got him. But 23 had a heck of a run.
Yeah, that was just unbelievable. Cody Kern taking the victory there as well. You know, good points overall, don't get me wrong. Going into Watkins Glen, different story. A road race in the final 4 races. Different story altogether, isn't it?
Yes, I'm not terribly good at road courses, so I'm glad I led some laps tonight, scored extra points there. I've got 8th place in the stage. I could have done better there, but I ended up 3rd. I'm not complaining at all.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be the most amount of heart attacks I've ever had in my life. I'm not going to lie. That was just unbelievable ending there as well. So thank you so much for joining me in the booth. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, Josh McQuiggan, Neil Strader, and Terry Spainhour. We're all working together, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the BSC, of course.
Awesome stuff there, bud. Well, thank you so much, Brandon, for joining me, and look forward to seeing you on track next week.
Yes, have a good one.
And you, man. All right, next up, we'll have a chat with Jordan Malcolm. The man who finished 2nd place was literally a whisker away from taking the victory. Jordan, how are you, sir?
All things considered, I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, it couldn't have been any closer. I'm not going to lie. It was literally photo finish. There was not a lot between either of you. You know, leading, coming around that last corner, did you think you got it?
Not coming. I knew there was going to be a big run. If it was Daytona, then when the start line was back on the middle of the tri-oval, I knew I would have won it. But just having that extra little bit, it was going to be very tight, and of course it was. And I'm glad Cody got it done. A non-playoff driver, so no one automatically locks in yet.
Yeah, no lock-in just yet. We're just looking at the final part, of course, and just stopped it on the line. It was literally, there was nothing between the 3 of you as you went across there as well. You know, big chunk of points, not a bad start to the evening. Led laps, all good there as well. You know, you got to be confident after this one.
Yeah, you know, it was a good night. Got stage points, finished 2nd, got the fastest lap bonus, led a lap, and even got pole position points. So it's a very good night at the office, considering. Then we head on to Watkins Glen, so it's definitely a track that I am looking forward to. So should hopefully play to myself a little bit more there.
Awesome stuff. Well, good luck there, bud. It was absolutely incredible. Well done tonight on your 2nd place. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, Cody for the win, obviously. Congrats to him. Obviously, the league sponsors, Killer Brownie Company, W Energy, Chairs for Gaming, and Player One Coffee Lab.
Awesome stuff. Well, thank you, Jordan, for joining us, buddy. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Take care. Right, and let's bring in the driver of the 23 car. Cody Kern has joined us, your winner this evening. Takes the win, doesn't lock anybody else in for the final four. He got it, not in the playoffs. Welcome in, Cody. How are you?
Doing all right. Feeling a lot better than I did about 5 laps to go when I went from the lead back to 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So, feeling good now.
Yeah, I bet you are, sir. I bet you are. Now, I did have a message from Armin who turned around and said, if Cody's internet hold up, I told you he would win. I called it. Now,
yeah, I had some internet problems earlier on where I was blinking out and caused me to get spun at one point and just lose the pack at another. And it held up there in the second half.
Yeah, definitely did there. So you come through and took the victory. Did you think you was going to get it?
Why not? It was Talladega.
Yeah, but it was close at the end. Come on.
I started to have doubts coming out of 4 because I wasn't making any ground on Jordy. And then once we hit that straightaway, I finally started to pull him back a little bit. So that was kind of when I knew I was going to pass him and hope nobody came pushing from behind.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was definitely a close one, Cody. Going into Watkins Glen, are you going to be here next week?
Hopefully. I've missed most of the last 2 months with work, so this is my first actual race since probably January.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to be here, but we'll have to see when next week rolls around.
Okay, bud. Well, hopefully if we do, it'll be absolutely amazing. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Just shout out to the boys. That's all. I got nobody. I wasn't expecting to be in here, so I have nothing prepared.
Okay, mate. No worries. Well, congratulations on the win there, bud. And hopefully, maybe we might see you next week in Watkins.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care. That was Cody Kern, your winner. Now, there is a request there as well. Terry Spainer, so Senior, what happened to TJ? Well, it was this incident coming near the end that caused the problem. 2 seconds. Let me maybe try and find a different camera. So Sherman comes down, TJ's on the inside, and unfortunately that is what happens. Gregory Sherman comes down and they both end up. Does he? Yes, Sherman hits the wall very heavily, loses his bumper. TJ hits his bumper and the wall all in one go. So yeah, unfortunately for him, that's why he ended up down where he did. Well, Kenton, I think if that's anything to go by, Las Vegas and Homestead is just going to be unbelievable. As you say, Glen's a bit of more of a road race. We shouldn't kind of hopefully have that kind of dramatic ending that we've just had there. But Las Vegas and Homestead, and the more importantly, nobody was locked into the playoffs. So it's still all to play for with the top 8.
Yeah, it's definitely going to add another level to it, as not having someone locked in now means that there's 2 races, so it's going to be at most 2 guaranteed finishers, and then 2 based on points. So every point you can get next week is going to be super important, because at absolute worst, 2 guys are going to have their points be the deciding factor on whether or not they're racing for the championship there in Homestead. So having a great race today is going to be an important one. I know a few guys had a little unfortunate situations happen near the end there with, I know, Spainhauer and Sherman having a little bit of a problem, but McQuiggan also getting taken out of the top 8 there when he was in a pretty good spot is definitely going to hinder him. So we'll see how Watkins Glen goes, because I think that'll be a very interesting race, because it's, I think, anyone who missed today, so like Daniel Michael, he's going to have to be at that race, otherwise you sort of forfeit your chance of making it in to the finals. So he's going to have to hopefully be there. And he's a pretty good road racer, so there's a good chance he'll have a lot of fun at that one. But we'll kind of see how everything plays out, and I'm excited. If this was an indicator of any of the last 2 races, or even the last 3 races here, we're in for a lot of fun over the next couple of weeks here.
Yeah, we definitely are. It's going to be an interesting one, guys. Settle in. Hope you have enjoyed tonight's race. As always, don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the bells for notifications. That'd be absolutely amazing. Tomorrow night at 8:30, we've got Eastern time. We've got the Simability SK Series, and then after that, we've got the LSRL F1 from Gilles Villeneuve, and then on Thursday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, we've got the Late Night Racing League from Australia. They're on board, and then we've got the Turnzo Racing Group, TSRC GT3, and the Radical Race Series on Thursday night. So we've got nothing short than about 5 broadcasts coming up for you over the next few days. As always, thank you so much for joining us here as well, and everybody obviously from the Spain Hour family, you're all amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. Armin Brusso in the back there as well, doing the race control. Absolutely unbelievable as always. Mike, much love. Cheers for helping me out as well. And it's been an absolutely incredible evening of racing. On to Watkins Glen we go next week. And that is just going to be another barnstormer of a race. Can we get our first playoff top 4 locked in? Is it all going to go down to points? Well, we will find out next week. But for myself, up in the booth, and Kenton Sportak, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.